Avraham?
Okay, Michi.
Yes.
Okay, I right now 5 minutes without video, and then I will switch on video. I washed my shirts and I have to put
Okay.
to the.
Okay.
I'm walking around and I have
Yeah.
to put to the.
Okay. We will start.
Yeah, but I'm with you.
Yeah. Good. So we have a lot of what to talk about Parashat Bereshit. It's the beginning of everything.
It's beginning of it.
Yes, beginning of creation, beginning of the world, of the history, and also beginning of the sins.
Yeah, from the 6th day.
Yes.
Sin from the 6th day.
So first of all, we will talk a little bit about what's going on in the parasha.
Mm-hmm.
This parasha is something like close to 2,000 years long. The end of the parasha talking already about Noah.
Uh-huh.
Noah was not 2,000, sorry, less.
It's 1,000 or something.
More, yes.
More?
More than 1,000, yes, of course. Much
Okay.
more. So, about the 6 days of creation, first of all, we need to review them. We have the first day, God saying by EO, and then became light.
Okay.
First of all, what does that mean that God's saying something? All the Torah you find that God's saying something.
It's also making.
Yes, it's also making.
Yeah, with words.
And the Torah and the tradition, the commentary is saying that to say something is not what's going on. It's a little bit. Okay.
No, I'm with you.
It was something moved. To say something is not only to say, is not only to make, it's also to think. Meaning, it's some kind of action that we don't know what type of action it is, but it's some type of action that God did to create the world. According to Hasidut, we can understand a little bit more why the Torah choosing the word saying and not doing and not thinking. If it's some type of action, why specifically saying? So according to Hasidut, a person have 3 levels of expressions. Can express himself in 3 levels, in 3 ways. In thinking, in talking, and in doing. מחשבה, דיבור ומעשה. It's 3 types of way, 3 ways to express yourself. So to מחשבה, it's to think. When you're thinking, you're expressing yourself to yourself. דיבור, to talk, it's to express yourself to other.
Yeah. It was very good. Express yourself to yourself. Express yourself to yourself.
Yeah. To think, you basically telling yourself what's going on. What do you think?
Yeah. Yes, you're expressing for yourself. Yeah. It's so easy.
And,
Understand?
and to speak, it's to express yourself to other people. The same thing as thinking. It's speaking. The speaking, it's to other people. That's why speaking is much less than thinking. Because you always want to explain what's going on. To others, you not always need to. And doing is to express yourself in something.
In something, yes. That in that what you're doing.
The action, yes.
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting.
But we need to see what's going on. We need to understand a little bit more. As I said, because thoughts is for yourself, so you're thinking all time. Because you always need to explain to yourself what's going on. It's also connected to the soul working all time. And this is expression of the soul. So because thoughts are very close to the soul, that's why they're always working. You cannot stop thinking. You can think about something else. And to talk, it's to do something, to express yourself to something else, to someone else. Okay. What is the difference between talking and doing?
As you said, if I'm talking, I'm expressing me to someone else. If I'm doing, then I'm expressing me in the what I'm doing.
Very good. So, and the talk I cannot say something and go, and the things that I said will stay there. No, because talk,
Yes.
because talk is something that is like thoughts, expression of myself. In doing, I can do something and leave, and the thing that I did stayed. What does that mean? It means that the expression is something totally different than me. I can express myself, I can express maybe deep emotion that I have in a painting, but I will express it in a way that it will be totally different. I can feel now totally different and go. And the painting will stay. But when I'm speaking, I'm from one hand, it's true that I'm expressing myself to somebody else, the same as painting that somebody else can see. But if I'm going, the expression will go. The word will stay if I am not there. What does that mean? It means that the world is created when God talks. It's expression that it's something else than God. It's not God himself. It's not thoughts. It's talk. God revealed himself in a talk way, in a way that he is revealing himself to somebody else. But it's not like a did. It's not like we doing something else. Because if it would be like that, it would mean that God can go away from the world, and the world will stay. And this is not true. This is not true. The truth is that God still every second continuing and continuing in everything, in the creation, in the involvement in the world, as like a person that's not stop saying. And that's why the expression always there. This is what we can learn from that. The Torah used the words Vayomer Elokim, and God say. Okay.
Okay. That's the difference.
Yes, this is the difference. This is for
Be-
somebody else, but I need to be always here to understand what I'm saying. If it's a painting, I'm not here.
Yeah.
It's a thinking, so it's something to myself. But if it's to somebody else, but always need me, this is talking. Okay. Another thing that we can see from the word talking. When God created everything, He said, talk. Vayomer Elokim, and God said.
Vayomer Elokim.
Yes, Vayomer.
Vayomer.
But when God created man or human, the Torah not saying Vayomer. God did not say. All the world, God says. In the creation of human, the Torah not saying the word says. The Torah said Vayipach be'apav, meaning he, how you say, inhaled? No, exhaled. Like to you understand what I'm saying?
No.
I will 1 second. To blow, like to blow a balloon.
Okay, blow. Yes, blowing. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, that's right. The God is blowing.
Yes.
Blowed. Yes.
Inflate. Inflate in English.
Inflate. Yeah.
Yes.
Can.
So the act that the and the expression that the Torah want to use about creating man, and what is the differences between to talk and to
Blow.
Blow.
Yeah.
Is very simple. A person can talk for an hour, 2 hours, like me. Not now but a person can talk a lot.
Okay.
Why? Because to talk is something that you're doing to others. It's not connected to your inside. It's only connected to your mouth. How you say a balloon? How you say to blow up? No. To inflate. So I cannot do it more than 1 minute, and then I need to pause and do it again. Why is that? Because it's something that you're doing from inside. So when God created man, He did not created him like talking. He created him from inside. From inside power. He gave him something special, like from the inside of God, and we know that this is the soul that we have inside us.
Okay.
Not from the level of talking, it's from the higher level. Okay. After that, God, on the second day, God separated between the water and the sky, that this water, and it separated them. In the third day, God showed earth, and first thing, before stars, before the stars, before the animals, of course, God gave the earth a life. There is there fruits and vegetables and grass. In the fourth day, God created the sun and the moon and all the stars. In the fifth day, fish. Oh,
Okay.
yes. In the fifth day, God created fish and chickens and how you call all the animals that running on the ground, the low animals. I don't know how to call it.
It's just animals.
Yes, no, I'm not talking about regular animals. I'm talking about the nasty. How you call them?
The nasty animals.
No, not the nasty. Chas v'shalom.
Wild animals or
No, spawn. No, vermin. All the vermins.
okay.
Vermin. It's parazzi.
Parasite.
Parasite.
Ah, well, yeah, they do it. Yes.
All the
Yeah, parasite.
parasite in Hebrew from it means a person that's doing nothing.
Yeah, it's also in Estonia, parasite.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. After that, in the sixth day, God created Adam and Eve, and before that, He created all animals and everything. When they were created, they created in not in the beginning of the day, and they had a lot of missions to do. First of all, they had to name all the animals, to give them a name. And it's not something easy. Why is that? Because the Jewish name, first of all, is the source of life of the thing. Every creation gets his life, his energy from the letters of the Hebrew letters of the name. So to call them a name, it means that Adam understood from what they're getting the energy, understood the godly energy that's coming to each and every creature, and that's how we call them a name. It was something spiritual. This is explanation, of course, according to the insight of Torah. Of course, there is the simple explanation. You call them a name, just call them a name, It's also a very big thing, but okay. And after that, they needed to get married, to have kids. And actually, there is a midrash that's saying that the sons of Adam and Chava that we're learning about them in our parasha were born in Gan Eden before Chet Etzadat. It means that they were born a few hours later. Okay. It was a busy day. After we coming to the story of Etzadat, of the tree of wisdom, I think it's called. And after that, we coming to the rest of the story of Cain and Hevel, and we have a lot of stories. Cain and Hevel are two brothers. One is a field man and one is a animals person, and they're giving sacrifice, but one is giving from the best of his product, and the other giving from the low quality. And God liking the best one, the best product person, Hevel. And Cain get jealous and he killed him. And then he got punishment that everybody will know that he is a killer until he's end of his days. Okay. This is in short. We have a lot of details, so many details in our parasha. We will ask 3 questions about the story of Etz Hadat, Chet Etz Hadat, Etz Hadat, the tree of wisdom.
Etz Hadat.
Yes, that is part of Chabad. Chokhmah.
Yes, not that.
To know, yes. The first question is, what is so dangerous in Chet Etz Hadat? Why God so much wanted that they will not eat from that? Simple question. What they know after that they didn't know before. So the snake told Chava that you will know good and bad, and you will be like God. What does that mean? What is the connection, good and bad? If there is no bad before, how she sinned? Adam sinned. Of course, it was bad before. So what is Chet Etz Hadat? Second question is why it's so connected that they were naked. In all the parasha before that, it was saying that they were naked and they were not ashamed. And then Torah saying again, after they ate from the fruit, they were ashamed. So that's what happened. I mean, what's going on? And the third question is, how the snake was able to convince Chava.
Yes. How?
So we will say it in short, all the ideas. That I'm sorry that I'm stopping. It's because I need to laugh for a second.
Yeah, of course.
The story is that there is evil, let's call it. I don't know how to call it. Good and bad, yes?
Yes.
The question is, where is that bad side? In the beginning, before the sin, there was bad somewhere, but the snake maybe was bad, yes? But the other side, the fruit, we're not talking why God put that there, but the fruit was giving them the badness inside. What does that mean? It means how it's called, Etz Hadat Tovera, a tree of wisdom, good and bad. That in Hebrew, it's not wisdom. Wisdom is like knowledge. That is when you connect the wisdom to yourself. This is the literal explanation of that. That's why we need Chokhmah, Bina, and that. So that is to connect the idea to yourself. Good and bad in that means that everything in this world, when you see that, when you understand that, you're getting mixed feelings. It's good for me, it's bad for me, I don't want it, ta-ta-tam, ta-ta-tam. There is no such a thing that you see something and you have a simple observation and understanding and deciding. No, always this feeling inside, how it's good for me, how can I use it? This is this is what we got in Chet Etzadat. The badness was inside us. That's why it's in everything that we see and understand. So this is why it's connected to be naked. You know, in the beginning, they were naked and they understood why. What I mean, we're here to become a family. This is our purpose. This is what God created us. This is the first mitzvah that God told them. And they didn't saw any bad. But after they ate from the fruit, they start thinking, oh, how can I use the woman to give me more power? How can I ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta? And then when he looked on her, he saw also bad. And when she looked on him, she saw also bad. That's why they were ashamed. Why they think what Adam think on me? They were ashamed. So the shame coming from this mixing of good and bad in everything. And this is how the snake was succeeded to convince her. How he succeeded to convince her? Because he told her, and the Torah saying it very clearly, that the woman saw, the woman, Chava, saw how the fruit is good, and it's very tasty, and it's very, describing how very good is the fruit. Why is that? Because this is what Chava thought. Chava thought, it's so good fruit. It cannot be bad. She didn't know that bad can look good. This is what we know today, that good, if something looks good, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is good.
Yes.
That's what happened to her. She ate from the good fruit. After that, only bad things came from that. This is in short the idea of this idea. I will add one last thing and then we will review again what we said. And what was the tree? You have some idea? Oh.
What kind of tree it was?
Yes.
There is several explanations. It might be etrog. It might be apple. It might be, I don't know in English.
Dot?
Dot.
Yes.
No. Yes, and finally it was the tree. What leaves they used to cover their nakedness. I don't know how in English it's.
Dot.
That's again. No.
Okay. It's good answers.
Figure.
Figua.
Figure again.
Figua in Estonian or in English?
No, in English, figure. Figure.
1 second.
Yeah, you just translate figure.
I don't know what is figua.
Figure.
Yes, fig. Yes, you're right.
Figure. Okay.
What is dot? Is
It's lulav.
yes, you're right. Yes,
I
okay.
think so. Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, about apple, as much as I know,
Mhm.
there is no Jewish source about apple. It's very common. Everybody thinks that it was apple.
Yes.
In the Jewish source, it's not coming from the Jewish source. It's coming from some kind of translation. How you translate a tree and how you translate an apple and
Yeah.
similar. And so it's not Jewish. But about, you said very nice opinions. The talk is very nice. But
Yeah.
I will say, I will add three kinds of opinions, and I will explain why. Te'ena, as you said, it's the fig.
Yes. It's tena. Ken.
Yes.
Tena. Yeah.
This is the opinion that Rashi bringing. Why? Because this is the only tree that we know after they use. They put the leaves of the tree. What kind of tree? The same tree. That's what Rashi said. The same tree they put.
Same tree. Yes.
Yes, maybe even that they will remember why they need to cover themselves because of this tree. Maybe. So this is the first opinion. But the Gemara do not like so much this opinion because no, it's not. The second opinion doesn't want to like this first opinion. Why? Because it's not so much of a knowledge tree, not a knowledge. That's why the second opinion is that it was wheat.
Wheat.
Yes. Wheat. Why? Because we know that the baby cannot start speaking if he eating something from the kinds of I don't know how to 5 kinds of grains.
Yes.
So why? Because this is opening the mind. So this is the tree of mind. The tree of wheat. The third opinion saying it's good, but it's not enough. Because wheat is not a tree. So that's what they're saying. It's grape. It was a grape tree.
A grape tree.
Because first of all, it's a tree. Second thing is that this is the tree of knowledge. A person wants to understand something more, a lot of times he's taking a glass of wine, he's thinking about it. Or if a person, as you know, wine is connected to wisdom. So maybe this was the tree. Okay. These are the three main opinions in the Gemara. Okay. It will be short today, more short, as you understand.
Yeah.
So we had three ideas that we talked today. First of all, about talking, God saying. Why the Torah choose the word saying that God said and then it happened?
It's happened.
So how you said, saying is like doing, it's like thinking. But why the Torah choose the word saying? That's why I said the inside explanation about saying that there are three ways to express the soul. The thoughts to express to myself, the talk to express to others, and the to do to express in other.
Mhm.
The difference between thoughts and talk is that thoughts are much more connected to the soul. That's why you cannot stop it. It's always active. Talk, you can stop, hopefully. But the difference between talk and deeds and action is that to talk, you need to be there. And to do, after you're going, the expression stays. So that's why the Torah used the words that God said, because the Torah wants to show us the way of creation. God did not create and left. It's something that's happening every second until now. Like a person that's speaking. He's not left. He's not here. The same thing is, I want to talk. I need to be here. The same thing about this explanation we have for more than hundreds of years. Yes. Now we understand it more. To talk and to not be there, I also can do now. I'm talking to you and I'm not there. Yes, I'm not in your home.
Okay.
So we can understand more that it's expression, how God is present, and we cannot see him. He's not here. Yes. Okay. This is the first thing I said about talking. Second thing I said about talking is that talking, a person can talk for a long time. Why? Because it's all powers of outside. It's not something from the inside. That's why creation, the Torah saying that God said and it did, and it happened. About creating of man, the Torah do not say use the word God said. The Torah use the word God
Blowing.
Blow.
This.
Inhaled. No. I don't remember.
Yeah, but it's blowing.
Yes. Why? Because as we know, to blow, there is limits, very short limit that can do it for a short time. Why? Because it's from inside. And that's why the Torah want to tell us that only human got the power from inside of God. One side from a human was from the earth, and the other side of the human was from the inside of God. All creation have one side. The Torah do not say that God gave them, create them, and then gave them a life. No. Human, the Torah said that God created the body, and then he gave a life from inside. It means two things. It means that the human have power from inside of God. The second thing it means that the power, the energy, the life that the human have is not the same thing as his body. It's separate. It did not happen together in the same time. It happened in two different steps. First of all, the body. After the life. And that giving us a lot of this is very important thing to know about the soul. That soul is not connected to the body, it's something else. Okay. After that, we ask about Etz Hadat. We ask the question, Etz Hadat. So we ask, what was so dangerous about this tree? And what is the connection that they were naked? And why, how the snake was able to convince Chava to do that thing? And the answer is one answer. The answer is that evil was there before.
Mhm.
But it was not necessarily inside the human as is it inside today. Even
Mhm.
not mean badness, not mean, it means how everything is connected to me. How I can use everything to my advantage. And this happened when they ate from the fruit from a tree.
It's Haddad.
Yes, that's why they were ashamed when they saw the nakedness of the other and themselves, because they start thinking, oh, what he think he can do with me, to me, and other thoughts. This happened only when you have the badness inside you. And another lesson that we saw here, that bad not always look bad.
Yeah.
Torah describing very much how it was looked very, very good, very, very nice. The Torah used the expression ta'ava hu la'inayim. It's like something that you cannot take your eyes from. Okay. The third thing that we said, that the apple was not an apple. Apple is not a Jewish
Source.
yes.
Jewish source. Yes.
Mm-hmm. We have the fig and the wheat and the grapes. The fig because they after use that, the grapes, the wheat because it's knowledge, and grape because it's both, because it's a tree and it's a knowledge. This in short, a few ideas that I wanted to share about the parasha. There is a lot of a lot more ideas.
It's
About the sun and the moon, and about the trees, and about creation, and about Shabbat, and about Cain and Hevel. But for today, I think it was enough because of my situation.
It's so amazing how much put in the first parasha of Torah. How much in there? How much? You can sit and learn this maybe 1 year.
Yes.
All, but only in the one parasha.
Yes, it's true. And also the commentaries are so long. They have so many ideas. In the beginning of Torah, they have so much ideas, so many.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And it's also it's so important. That's the basic of the everything.
I will mention another thing that's very important that we have in our parasha. The first Rashi on the Torah. Rashi is asking a question. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak. He's saying, he's quoting from Rabbi Yitzchak. Actually, we don't know who is this Rabbi Yitzchak. Some say Rashi. You know what is the initials of Rashi?
Rabbi. It's
Rabbi Shlomo.
Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchak.
Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchak. Very good.
Yeah.
What is Yitzchak? Yitzchak is his father's name.
His father's name, okay.
Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki.
Yitzchaki.
So he wanted to mention his father's name in the beginning of the commentary on the Torah. That's why he started Amar Rabbi Yitzchak. So what this Rabbi Yitzchak said, why the Torah starts from stories of creation? The Torah need to start in the laws, the first law.
Yeah.
Torah is book of laws. Not book of stories. What is the history so important? You know, if it's important, you can add it.
Yeah.
Why we need
somewhere.
Yes. So Rashi said that God wants to show how everything is His. He created and He gave it to men, and that man is now sitting where they're sitting, but everything belongs to Him. That if you own something, it's not your own. It's God's. He gave it, and He can give it to somebody else. And Rashi talking about the country of Israel. That if the non-Jews would tell us, how are you taking this country from us? It's we living here. We will show them Sefer Bereshit. God created everything. He put you there. He promised to somebody else that He will do. And now we're taking it. It's everything. He gave it to you, and now He's giving it to us. But this is the Rashi. The Rebbe learning it something very interesting. The Rebbe is saying it's not answering the question of Rashi. Rashi asks why he starts with the Torah. And the answer is not answering. The answer telling us that we want to show everyone that God created the world and it belongs to Him. Okay, it can be after the laws. Not why it need to be before. So the Rebbe, I cannot say very much the answer because I didn't learn it this year and I don't remember. But the answer is very powerful because we see here two sides. The laws is the Torah side of the Torah. The creation is the world side of the Torah. And Rashi basically asks why the world is before the Torah. And he answered that because the world connected to God. And this need to be before the Torah. Meaning that before we learning Torah, we need to know that Torah is not something separate from the world and
from the world.
Yes. No, before we learning Torah, we need to know that also the world is something that belongs to God. This is the explanation of the answer. That also before we learning Torah, we need to know that, and this is what the Parashat want to tell us. The world is something that God created. As we said, He is here because He is speaking. He is here. Cannot be in a different place. And it's not something else. It's not something apart from Him. Yeah.
No, it's a good and clear explanation.
Yes.
And also it's very simple. As you said.
Baruch Hashem.
It sounds very logical, and that's.
Yeah. This is how the Rebbe's explanation working. They're simple, logical, and true.
Yeah, simple, logical, and true. Yes, if you can understand, that's really simple and logical. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Now our private lesson is finished.
Yeah.
Yes.
To do private lessons, not.
No.
It's okay.
Nice. Okay. Thank you very much, Michi. I will do my notes a little bit now what you are talking, and then see you tomorrow.
Yes. See you tomorrow.
בבוקר. אוקיי. לילה טוב.
לילה טוב.
לילה טוב. תודה רבה.
בבקשה, תודה רבה לך.